Hey guys, Joe from Extreme Terrain, and today I'm going to be reviewing and installing the MBRP Installer Series single exhaust system with a side exit fitting all 16 and newer 3.5 liter Tacomas. This kit is going to be perfect for the Tacoma owner who's looking to get a little bit more sound out of their 3.5 liter with one of the most cost-effective exhausts on the market. As you guys just heard, this kit is going to be mid-range loud, comes in at about a 3 out of 5 on our Wake the Neighbor scale. It's easily enough to know that this is an upgraded exhaust from the factory kit, but not enough to draw any unwanted attention to your Tacoma. This kit is manufactured out of mandrel bent 3-inch diameter 16 gauge steel, which is then coated in aluminum to help protect it from the elements. In the middle we have the perforated tube P-Series muffler, which is going to hugely improve the sound over stock. And this kit ends in a 4-inch diameter chrome /cut tip that is embossed with the MBRP logo. The mandrel bends on this kit ensure that the walls of the tube remain nice and smooth throughout the length of the bend. Now that creates a couple of things that is going to make sure the exhaust can flow as smoothly as possible. It's not going to create any turbulence and allow those gases to escape the exhaust as fast as possible. Now comparing this exhaust to some of MBRP's other offerings, this is going to be on the same tier as the Black Series, which is going to be on the cost-effective side of their range. Only difference from this and the Black Series is going to be some black powder coating, but the Black Series does cost a little bit more for that. Now, if you wanted to save a little bit of money, you could take a look at the P Series. That's going to be the same construction basically and feature the same muffler without an exhaust tip. If you wanted to step it up from aluminized steel, the XP Series offers 409 grade stainless, and obviously the Pro Series is going to be your top of the line 304 stainless. Pricing for this kit is going to come in at around the $300 mark, and that currently makes it one of the most cost-effective options for the 3.5 liter on our website, being only beat by that P Series I mentioned earlier, and this same kit, the Installer Series, with a turn down rather than the full tailpipe. Now also included in that price is going to be a 3-year warranty on materials and a 1-year warranty on finish, both from MBRP. Install for this kit is going to come in at 2 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Should only take you a couple hours to get this installed on your truck, as it's a straight bolt-on. There's no welding required. But the reason I give it a 2 is depending on your cabin bed length setup, you might have to trim the inlet pipe to get this to fit, like we're about to show you in a minute here. So without any further ado, let me show you how to get this exhaust installed on your truck. Tools required for this install are going to be a pry bar, exhaust hanger removal tool, impact, U-joint, 8mm Allen key, 15mm socket, and a 14mm socket. Now, tools that are not required but greatly help are going to be a hammer. We use that to seat a socket on a rusty bolt, PV blaster to loosen things up, and if you have a short wheelbase truck like what we're working on today, you will need to trim an inlet pipe. For that, you will need safety glasses, tape measure, Sharpie, and not pictured in the shot is going to be a saw. All right guys, so for the first step of our install, we're going to hit everything with a nice healthy dose of a rust penetrant. I'm going to use PV Blaster. This is going to come in great help for this flange right here, and there's 4 rubber hangers down the length of the exhaust. And to be honest, this exhaust hasn't been off of our truck in around 30,000 miles, which is what the truck has on it in total. So this will be a pretty accurate representation of what you can expect after some daily driving when you crawl under your truck. So now we can move back to this flange, and the nut on this side is welded in place. So we're going to use a 14mm socket on this bolt to slowly back it out. Again, this is pretty rusty, so we're going to take our time here. So now we're going to do the same thing for the other side, and again, this is pretty rusty over here as well, obviously, so I'm going to use the mallet to tap that socket onto the bolt. And again, go slow. This thing will be pretty hot when it pops out as well, so just let it fall to the ground. So now we can move on to these rubber hanger isolators. This one is on the front of the muffler, and this one will actually require complete removal. Reason being is it's backwards compared to the other hanger isolators. So I'm gonna get a pry bar up into this hole here, get some leverage, pop that off. Then the other exhaust hanger should go when we drop that flange and pull the exhaust forward, then we can get it straight out. And then that could actually stay on the upper one. So now our exhaust is just about ready to fall off the truck. What we're gonna do first is pull this flange apart and drop it out of the way so it will clear. Then we're going to use a pry bar to sort of pry on the muffler to release it from those hangers. Then we're gonna drop this out in one big piece. Now, if you are working on the ground, you might have to make a couple of cuts to get this out from underneath the truck. But if you're on jack stands or a lift, it should be extremely easy to pull it out in one big piece. So with our factory exhaust off the truck, I just wanted to take a second to lay out our new MBRP kit and point out some of the key improvements we're going to be making. And right off the bat, we're ditching this big restrictive muffler design from the factory in exchange for MBRP's straight through perforated tube P-series muffler. On top of that, we're also increasing the overall diameter of the piping to 3 inches. That's going to allow some more exhaust gases to flow through in total. As far as the tip goes, we're looking at a 4-inch chrome slash cut embossed with the MBRP logo. Now, as you guys probably noticed, our inlet pipe is a little bit longer than the factory. This MBRP kit is intended for the longer wheelbase trucks out of the box, and depending on your cab and bed setup, you will have to trim this. For the short wheelbase truck we're working with today, we're going to be taking around 13¼ inches off the back of that inlet pipe. So let's grab our safety glasses, tape measure, and marker, head over to the saw and make our cut. And again, for our short wheelbase truck, that should take about 13¼ inches. So now we're back at the truck, and all we're going to do is now get that inlet pipe seated and use that original hardware to secure it. Now, just a note, this pipe does have a bend to it that is going to go upward toward the body. And then we're going to use a 14mm socket to secure that. Next, we're going to install this hanger clamp, shortly followed up by our muffler. So we're going to leave that clamp just hand tight for now. That's going to give us some much needed wiggle room when we near the end of the install and need some adjustment. Now, before we go and mount up our tailpipe, we're going to remove this hanger isolator right here. Reason being is our tailpipe has 2 hangers that go opposite directions. So we're going to remove this with an exhaust hanger removal tool and some PB blaster, get that mounted up onto our tailpipe, and then mount up our tailpipe and slide that hanger into place right back where it was right there. And we're going to feed that all the way back. That's going to give us a lot of room when we go mount this back up. Then we can hang a clamp on our muffler, feed our over axle pipe over the axle, and those hangers into the isolators, which is tricky. And then we're going to move back to that hanger in the rear and push that over as well. That rear hanger should pull everything into alignment, but now it's the perfect time to make any adjustments to make sure the exhaust is sitting correctly. Then we're going to run through and tighten down the 2 clamps, one up front here and one behind the muffler with a 15mm socket. Now we're going to slide our exhaust tip on and secure it with an 8mm socket. All that's left to do is lower the truck and check for any leaks. And that is going to do it for my review and install of the MBRP Installer Series single exhaust system with a side exit fitting all 16 and newer 3.5 liter Tacomas. Thank you for watching. I'm Joe. For more videos like this and all things Tacoma, please subscribe to Extreme Terrain.